Hello viewers, welcome back to the Card Mat. Now I've put up a couple of intermediate and advanced tricks lately, and I think some of you might still be practicing on them. So I thought I'd give the beginners a chance and do basically a self-working one. I mean, you've probably all heard of this anyway, the reading five cards, reading five minds at once trick. But like with all the tricks, I do them different. So I'll show you the way I do it. Well, you need to start with, because you're reading five minds, you need five indicator cards. And general rule of thumb is use a 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10 in any suit you like. Because it's a bit too obvious if you use 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Because there's a lot of clever people out there who look for patterns in what you're doing and look for ways of how you're doing it. And obviously if they see in 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, it sticks out like a sore thumb. Well, to me, having them in the same suit sticks out like a sore thumb. I mean, they are separated 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. Bit less obvious to spot, but they're all in the same suit. Whether it be in clubs, or hearts, or spades, or even in diamonds. It's a lot easier to spot because the numbers are all in the same suit. The ones who know the trick inside out will know what I'm talking about. The positions of them. If somebody's clued up enough, they'll see the positions of the cards in the one suit and in relation to the chosen card. So I mix it up. I put it in, as you can see, I've got the cards set out in chased order. If you're not sure on chased order, it's C, H, S and D. It's chased without the A and the E in it. Clubs, hearts, spades and diamonds. It gets used more than you'd think in card magic when you're setting cards up or setting runs up in a certain way. Most of the times they'll put it into the chased order. So I use the chased order in my setup. So I'll take the 2 of clubs, the 4 of hearts, 6 of spades, the 8 of diamonds. That brings us back to the 10 of clubs. So C, H, S, D, C. We're starting off a new line, even though there's no more cards. That's the way I do it. Because I find that having them set up like that isn't as obvious as you can see them all in the one suit. It doesn't stick out as much. And that's the way I set it up. Right, get these cards mixed up into the pack so we're not using them ones. And again, everybody says to you, I mean, even the title of the trick, read 5 minds at once. You don't have to read 5. If you haven't got 5 spectators, or you've only got 1 spectator and you know that they will not be able to remember 5 different cards, you can do it with 1 card, 2, 3, 4, or the full 5. When I do it, I usually do it with 3, because 3's in the middle and it's a nice even number. So that's your setup anyway. 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. If you're a real beginner, I would advise you to keep them in the same suit. It makes it easier for you to follow where your cards are. More advanced ones can use it in the chased order because you're used to the order and you'll be able to spot your cards and no problem. And you just have them on the top with the 2 at the top and the 10 at the last one. Now you can do a couple of riffle shuffles if you want, just as long as you make sure that you keep them 5 cards on the top of the pile. Whatever shuffles you do, make sure they stay on the top of the pile. Then you just deal out 5 poker hands. And it's not stud poker or anything like that, it's just normal poker, 5 card draw poker. So you deal out the 5 hands, and because I do it on 3 people, it throws an extra bit of mystery to it. Because then I'll say to the first spectator, pick a pile. And let's see, because I'm doing the tutorial on it, I'm not thinking on it, I'm talking as well. I'm going to have to write them down the way it's doing. So say the first fella decides he wants to pile 3. So all I have to do is remember 3 for number 1. He's picked number 3. You tell him to pick them up and turn them over and look through them. Think of any card they want, not to touch it or pull it out or say it, just to think of any card they see. Well, let's say they go for the 3 of hearts. So they're thinking of the 3 of hearts. Now I don't know what they're thinking of. I'm only thinking 3 at this moment. And once they've picked the card, get them to shuffle the cards up so that even they don't know what position the card is that they've picked. Then I'll say to spectator 2, pick a pile, and say they go for pile 5. Again, tell them to look for any card they want, not to mention it or touch it or indicate it, just to think of one of them cards. I say they go for the Jack of Hearts. Well, first off, I remember number 2 has picked up 5, and they're remembering Jack of Hearts. So at this point I'm remembering 3, 5. That's all I've got to remember, 3 and 5. First one picked 3, second one picked 5. Again, you get them to give the cards a shuffle so that even they don't know where about the card is in that pile. Then you say to spectator 3, you pick a pile. As long as they don't pick either of them two, it's got to be a different pile. They can't pick a pile which has already been picked. So say number 3 goes for number 2. So I'm thinking number 3 has gone for 2. So now I'm just remembering 3, 5 and 2. That's all I have to remember. What we'll do with this one is we'll get them picking the indicator card. That way you'll be able to see what happens if they pick the indicator. So in this case, you know the indicator is the 4 of hearts because you're doing it in chased order, or I'm doing it in chased order rather. So you've got the 2 of clubs, 4 of hearts, 6 of spades, 8 of diamonds and a 10 of clubs. So I know which indicator is in which pack at the moment. He's picked pack 2 and he's looking at the 4 of hearts. A bit strange this, each one of them's all picked a heart. Oh, not to worry, we can work with that. And you get them to shuffle them up so that even they don't know where their 4 is or their chosen card is. Because they picked 3, 5 and 2, pick up pack 4 and just give them a shuffle because nobody's picked it. Just give them a shuffle and pick up pack 1 as well, and I give them a shuffle. Now I engage all 3 of the spectators because I'll say to the first one, put the pack back together in any order you want. Pick a pile up and put them on whatever pile you want to. So say they pick up 5 and put it onto the 2, and they pick up the 1 and put it onto the 3, pick up the 4 and stick it onto there, and then stick them onto the top of there. It's a complete random choice of what order they want to put the packs down in. Then I give the pack to spectator 2. I'll say to him, deal down 5 poker hands, but you can deal down to whichever hand you want to, when you want to. As long as you do, like you build it up in steps, so you've got to have 1 card each first, then they've all got to have 2, then they've all got to have 3, then they've got to have 4, and then they've got to have 5. You can't have a pile with, say, 2 cards in and start doing the 3rd pile and then put a 4th one on top of 1 while that's still down onto 2, if you know what I mean. So they can deal them down in any random order. So there's the 5 hands, and then again they just build them up to the same level. So they've all got 2. Now they've all got 3. Now they've all got 4. And for the last one, say they go down like that. So they put them down again. Now you say to spectator 3, again, pick them up and put them together in whichever order you want to. So say they this time go for 4 and put it onto 3 and put that onto 1. Stick number 5 on the top and then stick that one down there. So again, the cards have all been mixed up. It looks a genuine mix-up, and it is a genuine mix-up. Now, the common rule of thumb on this next part is just spread off 5 cards at a time and put them down. Well, I don't see the point in doing that. I mean, they seem to think that you've got to spread them off, otherwise you'll disturb the order. You've got 5 cards. Even if you deal them down, all you're doing is reversing the order. The middle one's going to stay exactly where it is, and them two are just going to swap places, and the first and the fifth are just going to swap places. So it doesn't matter. But I think it looks better if you're actually dealing them down. It looks more realistic. So I just deal down one hand of 5, a second hand of 5, a third hand of 5, a fourth hand of 5, and finally the last 5 cards. Right, job's basically done. And you know that spectator 1 had picked up the third pile, and you know the indicator in the third pile is your 6 of spades. So I'm just looking now for the 6 of spades, and there it is, there, second to the top. They also picked, the card they picked was the 3 of hearts. So all I do is say to them, which pile is your card in now? And there's a 3 of hearts in the third pile. So they'll say, well, my card's in the third pile. Well, the 6 of spades is the second to the top. So I know whichever card is second to top in this pile, it's got to be their card. And lucky enough, it's the 3 of hearts. So I know their card is the 3 of hearts. The second spectator picked up pile 5. Going by your indicator cards, you know pile 5 is the 10 of clubs. So all I've got to do is find the 10 of clubs, which is the second card in this pile. And they picked the Jack of hearts. So again, you say, which pile is your card in? And they're going to say it's in this first pile. Well, I know whatever card they've picked is going to be the second card from the bottom. Second card from the bottom. It is the Jack of hearts. It's their card. So already I know that the first spectator had the 3 of hearts and they had the Jack of hearts. You can't say it out as you're doing it. You know, oh, well, I think your card was the 3 of hearts to the first one, and oh, I think your card was the Jack of hearts to the second one. Or you can play along. I'll come to that in a minute. Then you're saying to the third spectator, now you know he picked up pile number 2, and your indicator in pile 2 was your 4 of hearts. So again, all I've got to do is look for the 4 of hearts, which is here. Wow, I couldn't see it then. It's the first card in the third pile. You ask them which pile their card is in now, and they're going to say it's in the middle one. It's in the third pile. So you look for your indicator, which you know is the 4 of hearts, and you can't do nothing, can you? The 4 of hearts is their card. Whatever, if they pick a pile and your indicator is in that pile, you know that their chosen card was your indicator. Don't try and work something out as if to think you're wrong, because, you know, or what's the indicator marking, which card's it indicating towards. It's indicating towards itself. That's the only thing you have to remember if they pick an indicator card. They say what pile it's in. You know what indicator card it's supposed to be. Well, there you go. So if they pick an indicator and it is the indicator, I say don't second guess yourself and try and think maybe something's gone wrong because it's the indicator. There's 5 of them in the setup. Chances are somebody's going to pick one sometime. So whoever they pick a pile and your indicator for their chosen card is in that pile, you know it's the indicator. Easy as. As I say, you can elaborate. You can do as I just said. Name the cards. You pick the 3 of hearts, you pick the Jack of hearts, and you got the 4 of hearts. Or you can look at them and you'll go, right, Jack of hearts is now the second card in the first pile. And the first selection, is going to be the 14th card. If you close them all together, it's going to be the 14th card. The second card is going to be the second card. And the third card is going to be the 11th. So you remember 14, 2 and 11. And you can square them up. And all you've got to remember is 14, 2 and 11. So you can go, right, first fella, And you can just work through and you go, I'm going to try and find your cards now by centre touch. And you're just counting off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Well, I think that's your card. First person picked the 3 of hearts. Now, you know, the second one was the second card, so you just go, oh yeah, I think it's that one. And then, you know, the third one was going to be the 11th card. 1, 2, but you've taken a card out. So it's no longer the 11th, it's now the 10th. If you take a card out, remember you've taken one out and minus that off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you take the 10th card. And you should have the first spectator's, the second spectator, and the third spectator's cards, doing it that way. I say you can vary the way you want to actually produce the cards at the end. It doesn't have to be bam, bam, bam. That was yours, and that was yours. You've figured out what their cards are. You know what they are. Work your own ending out. If you do, let me have a look at it. I'd be interested to see what you've come up with. I say it is a beginner one. I hope there was something in there for the more advanced players. You might have picked up 1 or 2 little different ways of doing that trick. And have fun with it. And I'll see you later.